Now we have something new. And this is where we could talk a little bit more specifically about how the media is handling this. Savannah Guthrie provides an interview. She's back in New York City, and NBC is rolling out this long interview that she did with her friend and colleague, Hoda, who is asking her the questions that so many of us have, quite frankly, because we didn't see that much of Savannah in the last several weeks. She didn't provide a press conference. She provided some videos on social media. Interesting choice, which I'm going to ask you about, just because I think it's interesting for any family in this situation to even consider. But she did provide some confirmation of what happened actually inside the house, actual facts, not conjecture. And here's what she said, Morgan.
My mom, she was in tremendous pain. Yeah. Her back was very bad. You know, she was trying to, on a good day, she could walk down to the mailbox and get the mail, but most days not. So there was no wander off. And the doors were propped open.
Yeah.
And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been yanked off.
Yeah.
And so we were saying, this is...
Do something.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
This isn't... Something is very wrong here.
Yeah.
The doors being propped open is something that I didn't think we heard a ton about.
No.
But then you wrote, wait a minute, the doors are propped open? And she says, you know, there's blood. And these are things that clearly they knew right away. But that wasn't exactly what was included in the information to the public immediately. What do you think of what she said, Morgan?
So one thing I want to be careful of too is I know she said doors, but we don't know if it was singular or plural, if that's just an artifact of speech. So we have to be careful assuming anything. If a door, the back door were propped open, then, and this is a discussion I had with folks, then you have to ask yourself, was it propped open from something from the inside, something from the outside? Did they bring it in? So I'd want to know the mechanism of what propped it open, right? Because sometimes, you know, when you stay in a hotel, when I had to throw something in the hallway, I just would throw that latch over or close it so that my door wouldn't slam shut.
Right.
You know, and so there's ways to prop the door open. How was it propped open? And then it goes back to the scene inside the house. What do they know about what was inside the house? She talked about blood was at the front. And so was the front door propped open? You know, it's just, here's the danger. You want to try and, I know everybody wants that. And I got to tell you, I got such wonderful comments from your audience. I think we're up over 700,000 views almost on that episode. I mean, I am so appreciative. And I think part of the problem is people want the honest truth. I think they're tired of being spoon-fed a bunch of crap. You know, the true, while true crime is interesting, if you want to watch it, that's great, but never look at a true crime show and think that's how investigations are really done. There is no Perry Mason moment in a court. So in this case, the danger is you want to make sense of what's there, of something that you don't have the information yet to make sense of. And so we don't know. Again, I go back to, we talked about she's 84 years old, very hard to walk, right? If she's pulled out of her bed, the sheets are going to look different than if she folded the covers back and got out because she's just getting up to get a drink of water. Where did the blood start in the house?
We still don't know that.
Yeah, and that gets then into my whole point is that if you have a blood trail that starts in the house and it's continuous, there's no pooling and it just goes right from there outside and right into a car, that's going to indicate two people because somebody would have had to bring the car up, been waiting, have a door open, go in with that, and then get out of there. I mean, that's the hypothesis. It's very difficult. Let me tell you, go back to that trooper picture. One of the things we had to do to get on the highway patrol in terms of the physicals, you had to drag a 150-pound dummy as though you were rescuing somebody out of a car. And let me tell you, I was in good shape. I was 6 foot, 205, you know, done my time in the military and ROTC, law enforcement, you know, I was in good shape. Dragging a 150-pound dummy is tough work. Especially when you're under stress because they're timing you because they know, hey, this is part of getting on the highway patrol. When I got on, Jenna, over 2,000, I think 2,200 people applied. Only 16 of us got hired. So it was a very competitive process. So you're wanting to make sure you do good on everything. And so 150 pounds felt like 300. So that's where I go back to when I say, even if you planned on doing an abduction, there's still stress involved because once something starts happening, the person is injured. They're not able to walk. Now you have to start, you know, how were they carried? Were they dragged? Were they carried? Did they walk? Those are all things where blood spatter experts can weigh in better than I can. I've heard Dr. Michael Baden talked about this. I've talked to some people from the FBI. We don't have any real thing, but we do know the trail of blood goes out at least from the front door. My question is, where does it start at in the house? And that can give you an idea. And the other thing too, I want to know inside the house, if it was a burglary, like I say, then you have signs of burglary. Show me some staging of that there was something missing. We don't have any evidence yet that anything was taken from the house. Her watch was left there. Her phone was left there. Why did you leave that? Because you can track that. So again, it goes back to when you think of what does that tell you? If I leave your phone and your watch and I don't want you to be tracked, now think about you're under stress. It's a burglary gone wrong. Are you really thinking about that? Do you know that she has a Bluetooth pacemaker? I mean, are you really thinking about her watch? So, I mean, and we don't know what it looked like. Where was the watch found at, right? Because that was one of the ransom notes. Well, it was a watch here, but you could have seen that on the videos that she did with Savannah when she was showing how to make her bed and everything. So much intelligence was gathered from inside that house because it was public.
So that was an episode that was done a couple months prior to this incident, where the Today Show hosts were going to their hometowns and providing some insight into their behind the scenes. And that we could talk about that too, Morgan, about whether or not that created a vulnerability here for this family, because again, you think it did.
If I had a piece of information to give, as much as you want to humanize your guests, go out and visit the park, feed the ducks, do fun stuff with animals, but quit getting your family involved, because your family did not sign up to be on the national news. You know, I know that they want to do if you want to do Mother's Day and bring them in, even then I'd say that, but Gianna, this is, you take the world as you find it, not as you wish it was. This is one of the things I think we need to rethink in the media, is how much do we try and humanize the host, you know, as opposed to, you know, one thing I appreciated about working with you and John on the show stuff, you guys were you were good, authentic, you were authentic people. You were straightforward. We had great conversations. We talked, and it wasn't one of these things where I had to make you into something you're not. You were always a good person. You were always a great interviewer. You were always kind to me. And John was. Everybody at Fox, everybody I've worked with, usually everybody in the media are kind to their guests. So I think, but this whole thing about we need to humanize them and do all these human interest angles, I just think you need to leave family out of it. Because why? Because as we've learned in this case, we don't know that it made her the target, but we can't discount it at this time either.